recent public protests in Jordan. Rulers of Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and the United Arab Emirates met with the country's king and pledged a $2.5 billion aid package to sustain the country's economy. Our West Asia Bureau Chief Daniele Pagani tells you why it's so important for Arab states to keep Jordan afloat.
Jordan's King Abdullah II has got a breather from the economic crisis gripping his country. The Gulf monarchies of Saudi Arabia, the UAE and Kuwait have come up with a $2.5 billion aid package that will ease his $700 million current budget deficit and more. The money will go into a deposit in Jordan's central bank. It will guarantee a World Bank loan. It will provide a 5-year annual budget support and help fund development projects.
Jordan is a buffer state with very sensitive borders. Syria to the north, Iraq to the east, Saudi Arabia to the south, and to the west of the Palestinian territories. Also, the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan is the custodian of the holy shrines for Muslims and Christians in the holy contested city of Jerusalem. And last but not the least, one of the most stable and long-standing allies of the United States of America in West Asia.
The aid package is timely and is a recognition of the role of the Hashemite kingdom plays in preserving whatever stability remains in the region. It accounts for the relative speed at which the Gulf monarchies stepped in, although with what conditions only King Abdullah and his advisors know. But above all, the king had a duty to his people. He was quick to accept the people's demand and sack an unpopular prime minister who was pushing through an IMF-dictated $723 million economic reform plan. But the plan, which saw an end to food subsidies in January and broadening of the tax base, hit Jordanians hard. Many were forced to cut basic necessities to survive, consumption dropped, so did state revenues, and the public debt grew exponentially, with the budget deficit touching $700 million. In the streets of Amman, many blame these failures on decades of wrong economic policies and high levels of corruption. New Prime Minister Omar al-Razaz is trying to hammer out a strategy that takes into account Jordan's current economic situation. Jordan has an unemployment rate above 18%. Amman is most expensive city in the Arab world. Inflation has doubled since 2006. The country needs a long-term plan, but for the moment, the Gulf's $2.5 billion will help Jordan stave off the IMF while working out a sustainable long-term economic plan.
This money could come with a political price. In fact, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates and Kuwait are all involved in a hegemony struggle against Iran, which happens to be also Washington's main rival in West Asia. The Saudi monarchs were very quick to grant funds to Jordan. They perhaps wanted to avoid that the case of Jordan became similar to the case of Qatar, where Iran found a lot of space for economic and political movement. Daniele Pagani from Amman, Jordan, for WION.